I thought I'd switch it up from the science and engineering videos I've been trying to make recently and show off the unbelievable pit of nightmare fuel that is the basement of my apartment building. Like any good video game level, this one needs an access key. You put it into one of the 4 elevators, it makes an ominous click, and down you go. After some horrible noises from the elevator, welcome to hell. This building's so old, it was constructed in 1913, that there's just all this stuff that honestly I don't know if anybody remembers what it's for. There's this weird fireplace stage looking thing and strange corrugated tubes coming out of the floor. The storage units, which are what I'm down here for in the first place, are a much more recent addition. This place has it all. The buzz of fluorescent lights, strange unidentifiable mechanical sounds, water gurgling and water dripping, as you can see. Even lots of spider webs. Ooh, and questionable lighting conditions too. Fortunately, I brought my trusty Mark I flashlight. This really starts to look like Resident Evil here in parts. There's this weird drainage trough that goes the whole way around that's partially full of water. And none of that contributes to this giant pile of sofas and old mattresses being anything less than horrifically moldy and diseased. I kind of feel like I shouldn't breathe down here too much. Anyway, just past the giant pile of moldy mattresses, we have number 87, which, after the Fallout games, I've nicknamed Vault 87. And this is where I'm temporarily, till I go somewhere that is roomier, I'm going to set up a little small workshop type thing. It's pretty small, it's only 5 by 10, but I just need somewhere where I can have a little workbench and solder without having to worry about setting the fire alarms off, or, you know, cut wood or metal without having to vacuum crap out of my floor in my living room. So trying to do various projects inside of an apartment is not optimal, so that's what this place is for. I've only just started putting some stuff in here. Continuing away from my storage unit, I really doubt that 1 can of damp rid is going to help anything. You just squeeze through this little corridor. There's a giant pit of water with unidentifiable stuff floating in it. Creepy. More seepage, more piping, more random mechanical stuff. Carefully avoiding the puddles. Lots of cobwebs. Uh-oh. What's that on the wall? Clearly an evil X is around here somewhere. I'd better find somewhere else to go. How about down this creepy hallway filled with spray-on insulation that I hope is not going to kill me? I'm sure this rust and crumbling plaster and leaky pipe is how this is supposed to be. Right. Moving on. One cool feature of this building is I think it used to be a bank because it has a vault and a vault door. It's a shame it's in such horrible condition. There's some interesting mechanical goodness going on here. The filtration system inside, which we'll get to in a bit, is by Diebold. I assume the entire vault is, but it's hard to tell. There weren't any identifying markings. Some very pretty machining and mechanical stuff here. I did have to grab the handle and see if the door moves, and in fact, it does a little, but I didn't want to pull on it too hard. I really wanted to get one of the storage units inside the vault, because, you know, zombies might invade or something, but all of those were taken already. Once I use my flashlight to help my camera focus, we can see a Diebold serial number plate here. This is on the ventilation system. I don't know if it's for the entire vault. I'm assuming it is. Lots of scribbles in old-timey-ish handwriting on all of these plates that make it up. Quite interesting. Good to know in case we have a surprise nuclear attack or something. Although I'm not so sure I trust the structural integrity of it considering all this water. Now we're kind of on the other side of that creepy hallway that we looked through before. You know, the one past all the cobwebs. The environmental sounds down here are fantastic. I know it's silly to talk about them in terms of video game sound effects, but it pretty much hits the nail on the head, especially the fluorescent buzz and the sound of machinery and the echoing footsteps. It's quite creepifying. Last thing on the tour, past this giant pile of abandoned kitchen equipment, is the Pit of Despair. I don't exactly know what this thing is. It must have something to do with pumping water out of the foundation or the sump of the building. I don't know, but it is deeply terrifying looking down there, and it's not covered by much. I was making a point not to fall in. So, that's a perfectly wonderful little place to fall and die. That door had never been opened before. I'm assuming it has something to do with the water supply for the building. Very old, very creepy looking. The lights automatically turning off and on is also somewhat creepifying because it doesn't always work very well. Or in the way that you would expect, anyway. Also, occasionally someone else is down there. I met someone there earlier this evening. It was quite terrifying because it's kind of hard to tell whether there's an actual person bumping around or if it's just the sounds of the building. Not sure if you could tell, but those horrifically demonic sounds were in fact the voice of Homer Simpson. There's an episode of The Simpsons playing on the TV in the lobby, and that's where that stairwell leads. Anyway, enough of this. Getting the crap out of this spooky-ass basement.